He picked up the victim, who was then wrapped in a blanket, and did throw the victim over the bridge. Police also said he choked her.
This next case that we're going to talk about honestly sounds like it is something that has just been ripped straight out of a nightmare. So picture this. It's a late August and a 7-year-old girl is at her grandparents' house for a family cookout. And it's totally normal, right? She eats, she plays, then she goes inside and she falls asleep on a chair inside the house. And everyone assumes that she's safe because she's surrounded by family at this family cookout, right? But at about 2:30 in the morning, a man named Joshua shows up at the house. Now, Joshua wasn't a stranger, okay? He was actually a family friend of the girl's father. And that familiarity is actually what makes this next part even scarier. According to prosecutors, Joshua abducted this little girl while she was asleep on the chair. Just scooped her up and carried her out of the house without anybody realizing it. Then he put her inside his car and drove off. And for about an hour and a half, he just drove around, which to this day, we don't even have the full picture of where he went or what exactly happened in that window of time. However, the little girl later told investigators that during that drive, he tried to strangle her. He also then stuffed her into the trunk of his car. So it gets even more chilling. After about an hour and a half of driving, he pulled off onto this overpass, and it's almost like a bridge, okay? This bridge overpass. And he wraps this 7-year-old little girl in a blanket, tied a rope around her neck, put a plastic bag over her head, and he threw her off the bridge, which that was a 40-foot drop into the water. And here's the part that blows my mind. This 7-year-old little girl survived this. She swam by herself about 100 yards to shore in the dark, in shock, after being tied up, and she managed to find a house nearby. I mean, truly miraculous and beyond resilient. She ended up knocking on this door at around 4 a.m. And when the residents answered, they saw this soaking wet little girl, terrified, just begging them for help. She had visible bruises, scratches, marks on her neck, all of these things, yet somehow was still alive. So the police were called immediately. And when that happened, when they stepped into this, that's when the story really unraveled. So this little girl told the police that, quote, her friend Josh was the one who had done this. The investigators very quickly identified Joshua Huber as the suspect, and he was arrested and charged with kidnapping. But very quickly, the charges were upgraded. They were upgraded to attempted murder, strangulation and suffocation, and more.